Great catching up with Curtis Blaydes. He's got a fight against Waldo Cortes-Acosta, Noche UFC, September 12th. We are less than a month away. Curtis, how you doing, man?
I'm doing great, man. Happy to be here.
Yeah, happy to talk to you too, because we got a fight to talk about. I know last time we were talking about the injury. Now we got the fight booked. You got to be happy to get this matchup, because I know Waldo was a fight you wanted before, and now they've booked it for this pretty big event.
Yeah, this is originally before I got the Hokit fight. This is the matchup I was thinking I was going to have in April, because he's Hispanic and Miami has a lot of Hispanics. So I just assumed that was when we were going to do it. But this is honestly better, because this is, like you said, UFC Noche. So it's going to be a lot more eyes on us. And I never really thought I'd get the opportunity to be on this particular card, because obviously I'm not Hispanic and it's not a whole lot of Hispanic heavyweights. So just happy to have the opportunity to showcase my abilities on such a big card.
Yeah, it's crazy the amount of stuff you've got to do in your career as far as opponents and all that, but now you can add Noche to the list, because obviously that's sort of a yearly event for them. When were you back to training after your last fight? Because obviously that was an absolute war with Hokit. When were you kind of ready to get back in there and say, okay, I'm going to have my next fight?
July 5th. I got home. I was in Chicago for my sister's birthday, which is on the 4th of July. We got home on July 8th, and I was right back in the gym after that.
Okay, well, there we go. That's good. And when did you find out about this fight? When was this sort of pen to paper?
It had been floated to me like in June, but it didn't become like, oh, this is happening until probably end of July. But I knew I would be fighting around September, October, so I knew I wanted to get back in the gym in July.
Yeah, and we sort of mentioned it there. This is a fight that's been kind of rumored for a while. I imagine you're pretty happy getting to fight him, or are there any other opponents like in the mix at this point? Because obviously, like for example, Pereira's in your division now. Like there's a lot of interesting fights.
Yeah, I mean, I've always been a realist. I know they're not going to give me Pereira, because I'm not going to give the fans or give him the fight they want. I'm not going to stand and bang with a smaller heavyweight who has heavy hands. I'm going to wrestle him. And I know the UFC is not going to waste a guy like Alex Pereira against a wrestler like me. So he wasn't even on my radar. He still isn't even on my radar, because I don't foresee that matchup happening. But it was either Waldo or Volkov or Pavlovich. I wanted someone ranked higher than me. And speaking of being ranked higher than me, the rankings are weird. I don't even like. I've valued the rankings ever since I got into the UFC, because I've been ranked top 5 from June 2018 all the way up until I lost to Hokit. Now I'm ranked 10th, and Rizvan's ranked 5th, and Hokit's ranked 6th. I don't know what these rankings. I don't value them at all. So it's going to be a lot harder for me in the future to like call out people, because that's how I used to base it. Like, who's gonna give me the who if I beat them gives me the easiest pathway, not the easiest, but the fastest pathway to a title shot. With these new rankings, I don't know like which one's the real rankings. I know they have the media rankings.
It's the meta rankings is what they're called. Yeah, I don't even know.
I don't get them. I don't agree with them. I would tell you that much. I don't agree with them, and yeah, it's just gonna make it harder in the future to like pick who I want next.
Yeah, no, because now you got 2 rankings that you have to look at too. So yeah, again, I don't understand how they're using it based off that or whatever. So that makes sense. Let's talk about Waldo though. 17-3 record. How do you feel like stylistically you match up against him here?
He's a heavyweight that I've seen many times. He wants that overhand. He wants that rear overhand. He wants to make it ugly. He doesn't want it to be a skilled fight. He doesn't want to grapple. and those are the things I want to do. I'm either going to be at long range, or I'm going to be really up close and like grappling range. And everyone knows what I'm going to do. He knows what I'm going to do. The answer is, can he beat it? I'm not switching on my style. I'm not about to start adding a bunch of spinning heel kicks and flying knees and guillotines and all that. He knows who I am. I know who he is. The game plan is he going to be able to land that overhand? Or am I going to get to his hips or stay far enough away where he's not able to land it? Yeah. That's really the battle.
For camp, anything different? Any new training partners you're adding in the mix here, or business as usual? Who are you mainly working with for this one?
Business as usual. Although I did entertain the idea, because when I came home in July, I didn't have an exact fight date or exact fight opponent. And I've been talking Steve Asplund.
Yep, of course, yeah. From Minnesota, yeah.
I like him. I like his vibe. I like the way he fights. I like his style. I like his grit. So we've been talking a little bit. I didn't bring him in for this camp, but in the future, I could definitely see myself adding him, bringing him in for like a week or 2 weeks and getting some sparring rounds in with him. But it's been same guys, Zach, Ben, Tyler, usual guys.
Yeah, for sure. And I guess no Dominic Reyes this camp. I know he was a little bit in your camp last time.
At this camp. Although I was hoping he would be on this card, because if he wasn't, yeah, we would have definitely either he would have came out here, I would have gone out to him. But I think he's fighting in like October.
Yeah,
like,
he's fighting much later against Murzakanov. Yeah.
Yes. So if I'm healthy, I would like to go out there and help him get ready for his fight.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's good. And your corner, the usual, Vinny Lopez. Who's going to be in the cage with you for this one?
Vinny Lopez, Cody Donovan, Zach Tonga.
Okay. Yeah. Keep it the same. And how's this one playing out on September 12th? How do you envision it going down?
I envision me pumping, high-lowing, aching, getting him to react, getting him overloading his central nervous system to the point where he doesn't either he just spazzes out and just tosses a sloppy overhand, or he's very restrictive with his overhand and he doesn't use it the way he normally does. Either way, I get to his hips, beat him up. Maybe he gets out of round one. If it does, round two, rinse and repeat, and I think I get the finish on the ground.
Correct me if I'm wrong here, because you got this fight, if I'm remembering correctly from our last interview, did this come with a new contract?
I got a new deal. 8 fights.
Eight fights. Okay. So that's got to be good. Were you surprised they went that long with the contract? Because I know you've always wanted to stay with the UFC.
Yeah, I was not expecting. I'm very happy it was 8, but I thought it would have been 6 or maybe even half that, which I would have been all right with. Like, okay, I'll do this one, I'll earn another one. But yeah, 8, beautiful, great. This will probably be my last one though, because I'm like, that's another, let's say 5 years. I'll be 40. Probably hanging up around then.
This looks to me like the UFC wants to keep you here for life. And I think it also, prevents other people from coming in here like a BKFC. Not that you'd want to do that anyways, but I always thought that when Lewis signed his 8-fight deal that they were preventing him from going to compete for other promotions, that could compete with the UFC.
Yeah, because whenever he gets finished with his 8-fight deal, Eric Lewis, he should probably retire. Based on his the one against Waldo, the one against Hokit, he just looks like he doesn't even want to be in there no more.
Yeah, and that kind of ties me into my next question. Like, you had this great fight with Hokit. Everyone's still talking about how great that was. Like, did that kind of give you like a new life, do you think, in the UFC, you think? Because I know there were points where you were kind of worried about the UFC, whether they were going to keep you. We've seen other heavyweights get cut. You must have gained a lot of new fans from that since that fight, even till right now.
I did. It's the weirdest phenomenon I've ever been a part of. Like, I've gained more love, more support, more fandom off a loss than I ever have off a win. Like, I've had some good wins, like the Alistair win, the Junior Dos Santos win, the Almeida win. I've had some good wins. I've never gained as much uh, notoriety as I have right. I think also that's a part of the Paramount deal. You got a lot more eyes on you. I'm doing the streaming, so that's bringing in views also. But I think me having a old school stand up war with a guy like Hokit, I was down on myself a little bit. Like immediately after, I'm like, fuck, like I should have smashed that dude. But Hokit's good. I gotta give him more credit, and for him to be able to pull out that type of performance out of me, that lets you know like he's legit, and I'm also legit. And I think a lot more fans now have a new perspective on me, because some people, if only they still hold the full call fight against me. Like I went for all those takedowns. I didn't stand up as much as people would have enjoyed. I think a lot of people are holding that against me. Now they realize I have other skill sets in my back pocket, and I can be as entertaining as anyone else in the UFC.
Well, I mean, I think it's great, Curtis, because again, I remember that press conference after the Volkov fight, and Dana didn't seem too happy. To go from that to now getting an 8-fight deal late in your career, I mean, you got to be feeling great about that. I know they probably don't tell you like all the feedback when you sign a new contract, but I imagine your management's like, hey, they obviously like you, because they don't give 8-fight deals to everyone.
No, that's what everyone's been telling me. My coaches, the guys I work out with, my management, like this, it means a lot. This is a big deal. They don't just give out, like you said, 8-fight deals to just anybody. This lets me know that they value me. And I like you said earlier, I was like wavering. I was like, do they value me? Do they really want me? Now I know. I know that the UFC, they want me to be a part of the company, and they do see me as a valuable asset, which is all you can ask for as a professional fighter. You want the company to view you as an asset, a valuable asset.
Yeah, that's great. Good for you, man. It's awesome. Again, because some fighters don't even get past that first contract, and you've been in the UFC for a while. The other thing I was going to ask you too is we haven't, I think, spoken since the merger with MVP and PFL. It's kind of interesting because Francis leaves to go to MVP, and now they're the same company again.
Yeah, I know. Also, I thought it was unique that the UFC, they signed Robles and Despania, and I was assuming that they were going to set up Francis against
Robles. Yeah.
That's I would be interested in watching just like two guys who aren't going to grapple. They don't have the same type of striking, but they're both highly entertaining. I thought that was.
Well, do you not think it's strategic as well, too? Nothing against Robles, because, again, his run in the UFC I felt was a little bit cut short. But do you not think that's also a strategic move to prevent Francis from fighting him as well, right? Because who's Francis going to fight right now in the MMA world? There's not many people.
That was very smart. If that's why the UFC did it, it's very smart. Because, yeah, there isn't anyone else in the MMA that's outside of the UFC that I'm interested in watching Francis destroy. There isn't really, like the last guy he beat, Francisco Lins. I wasn't
Felipe
really
Lins,
that interested in that. Like, Felipe. I wasn't that interested in watching it. I did watch it, but I wasn't like super hyped up. And obviously, there was a reason, because it wasn't a great. It's going to be hard for them to get him entertaining like heavyweight.
Yeah, I agree. And Lins was more of a light heavyweight anyways. He fought kind of more in that weight class too. So yeah, and that's why Francis was like a minus 1,000 favorite there as well. Before we go, I just wanted to ask you, I'm sure you've seen it in the news, what do you make of this whole thing with Dean Thomas and Gillian Robertson? Of course, Robertson loses the title, or loses her shot at the title against Mackenzie Dern. Thomas comes out right after the broadcast and kind of throws her under the bus. I don't think he should have been on air after the loss. Like I kind of equated it to like when a fighter gets knocked out and you interview them, and it's never a good look to interview a fighter when they've been knocked out. But I felt like Dean was a bit emotional, and now Gillian doesn't like accept his apology either.
I mean, you're right, But him being a professional, and there's a reason. Like, he gets paid. I don't know how much, but he gets paid to be an analyst, to work for the UFC. So he had time to prepare for the yin and the yang of the outcome of Gillian's fight. Had she won, I'm sure he would have gone up there and had a bunch of amazing things for him to say about her. And she ended up with the loss. He should have been mentally like, okay, let me go out there, let me go do my job. Let me not toss her under the bus. Like, that was wild. Like, it's not like anyone even asked him that. Like, he just offered, like, yeah, I am officially retiring from cornering. This is as far as this athlete is going to be able to go, and I'm done. I'm like, why did you even offer that information up? Like, you didn't have to say that stuff. And I've heard his excuse initially was, oh, I did it for entertainment, for shock value. That's not a good reason either. That's like Kobe's excuse for him acting the way he acted. Well, I needed to be shocking and entertaining. It's not a good excuse to act like a dick. And I'm not saying that Thomas was a dick, but he was very insensitive, and he was not very media savvy. And you would expect a guy in his position who's been, how long has he been working with the UFC now?
Yeah, it's been a while.
A
Yeah.
You would expect him to like know how to navigate that a lot smoother. Like, he did that like a rookie, and like how did he expect this to go? Like, he's getting shitted on by a lot of people within the MMA community, but like, what did you expect? Like, I don't know. It was a bad idea.
Well, and I also think the coach should take some responsibility for the loss, right? Like, I know the fighter at the end of the day is the one that does the performance, but like, a good coach would come out and say, look, like, I have some responsibility in this too, that the fighter didn't perform the way that we hoped they did.
It's almost like in the NFL when a quarterback has a great, amazing game, passes for 400 yards, 4 touchdowns, he doesn't have any turnovers, but they still lose. I still expect you as the quarterback. We pay you a lot to be the face of the team. I expect you to go out there and be like, yeah, I didn't do enough. And we all know that's like, he's just saying it to say it, but that's what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to just say it's on me, even though it's not on you. That's what you're supposed to do.
Yeah. Well said, Curtis. We're looking forward to this fight, man. Noche UFC, September 12th. If there's anyone you want to thank before we get out of here, sponsors, social media, you got your stream as well. By all means, I'll give you the last word.
I like to thank my sponsor, Alp. I wish I had some Alp on me right now. I don't have any, but it is my nicotine pouch sponsor. They also offer caffeine pouches. And I like to thank my sponsor, Zapply.
I have them too. Those are good supplements.
I do have those.
Yeah, I got
all-in-one men's vitamin supplement. I like to thank them. And I'd also like to, tell people about my stream. I will be streaming this Monday, 4 p.m. Mountain Time on Twitch. You can find me at Curtis Blaydes on Twitch. I'll be doing it on Monday, and then the following Monday after that. And then I don't know if I'll stream during the week of the fight. You'll have to tune in to find out. But yeah, that's all I got.